What is up, you beautiful buggers? Welcome back to Budget Cars and Bikes. We are in the kitchen, and that can mean only one thing. We've got another product to review. So let's get this box open, and I'll talk you through exactly what we do have today. So as I said, welcome back guys to Budget Cars and Bikes and to another product review in the kitchen. Today we're going to be looking at a kind of multimedia setup for your motorcycle. You can use these things in cars, of course, but this one's been sent out for us to test on a motorcycle, one of our lovely little beauties sitting out there. So I guess the first thing we need to do is get this box unopened to find out exactly what we've got inside. This has been kindly sent out by a company I believe is pronounced Aoocci, but we'll get into that in a second. Please excuse my pronunciation if I got that wrong, but we'll get the box open, find out exactly what we've got inside, and I will talk you through the specs, what it can do, what it can't do, should you buy one, etc, etc. So let's get this box open up. So there it is, guys. This is, I think I'm going to pronounce this correctly, the Aoocci. If you've got one of these or you're a brand ambassador, as it were, then let me know in the comments exactly how you pronounce that. For today's purposes, we are going to call it an Aoocci. Why not? It is the C9 Max from what I've read online, and it is designed to fit onto your motorcycle handlebars, generally speaking, as you can just see up there. It is a riding connected smart screen, which effectively means you can use it for sat-nav, you can play your music, you can have intercom, you can do all sorts of things. You can basically mirror your phone, etc, etc. I'm sure you've seen these kind of things being reviewed over most of the motorcycle channels over the last couple of years. It's the latest version of that, effectively. I cannot see anything relating to specs anywhere around this box. Really, there's nothing to say what's in it. There's nothing to say what it's running, the RAM, the processor, nothing that I can see so far. The only thing I've found is this. It's a quick start guide, effectively. This also comes with cameras as well. Don't forget, I forgot to mention that. It records back and front as well, as you can see here. There's a little kind of diagram here that says, pop one camera at the back, pop one at the front, and you can have the kind of screen, as it were, this thing here, at the front of your motorcycle, and effectively it'll record your ride should you, God forbid, have any incidents while you're out and about. And it's always good to have a camera at the back and the front, I think, really. And these, generally speaking, are very, very tiny little cameras, and you don't have to run the wires too far because, generally speaking, you'll have the battery around about here and you'll just run one at the front and one out to the back. And as I said, you can normally play your music on here as well via Apple CarPlay, I believe, and there's probably an Android system in there as well. But as I said, there's nothing to indicate exactly what's running inside here processor-wise or which apps it's using. So we better get the box open, have a little look inside, and go from there, I guess. Okay, well, there's the top off, and there is the main unit itself. One thing I have noticed, which I thought was quite amusing, was the way that's nice bit of spelling there. The Mobice Internet. I'm assuming that means mobile, but someone's decided to use a C instead of an L. Okay, whatever. And anyway, so there's the unit. We'll whip this out ever so quickly, see what we get underneath. And okay, that looks to be bloody well made, actually. Yeah, that looks like a nice bit of aluminium moulding there. Yeah. Okay, that's obviously going to fit via some kind of bracket onto the bike, and there are your cables. This will, let me just get that out, sorry, there we go. This will connect back and front and to the screen, I'm assuming, so 3 cables, just so, camera, and screen. Pure assumption, of course. Let's get this little bit out here and move this box out of the way and see what we get inside here. Okay, so there's the box, and as you would expect, you get your 2 cameras. There's a tiny, tiny little one there. I'm hoping you can see that. That will be the rear one, I'm assuming. There's nothing to indicate which one is rear and which one is front. I would probably say you'll go with the longest cable being the rear and the shorter cable being the front, because as you can see, that's a much shorter cable. But they're using these kind of like bullet-shaped cameras, which yeah, I don't mind that actually. And obviously a little 3M sticker there, so you would effectively stick the sticker to wherever you want to put it on the bike, and then obviously pop the camera on to that M3 stick, or 3M, sorry. Right, what else have we got in here? Okay, these are for your TPMS. Obviously you will screw these on to your wheels, as it were, your tires, the valves, and then you can check your tire pressure monitoring as well, which I think is a nice thing to have. I mean, we've got it on our other main bike, but you know, something like the Triumph Speed Triple that we've just got in, which we'll be reviewing again very, very soon, that'll be great for that as well, because I think these kind of setups here are really far more interesting for older bikes that don't have any tech in there. Maybe you don't want to put your expensive mobile phone onto a quad lock mount or something like that because you're worried it'll screw up the camera. This is where this kind of stuff comes in, because all you can do is basically is set everything up on your phone, and then you can use this as the mirror to your phone, as it were, connect it to the handlebar. But obviously it does other things. It'll play music, it'll record your ride for any kind of unforeseen circumstantial incidents, and I think that's a good thing. This is going to be your power and your earth, I'm assuming, just there, so we'll pop that over there. And this will be, again, pure assumption because there are no instructions here whatsoever. That will fit onto your handlebar, and then obviously the unit will connect just there. So far, it's looking pretty obvious what you need to do. There's a couple of cable ties, and there's obviously like a GoPro kind of affair there, tiny little screwdriver, spanner, a couple of Allen keys. That is effectively what you get in the box. You get, let me just move all this out of the way. You get the unit itself, you get the cameras, that's the rear, that's the front, and that's the rear. Yeah, there we go. Power leads, which will connect to there. And then we've got the bracketry here, the TPMS sensors, and some little buggery going on over here. I'm just going to pop this out of this case here ever so quickly, guys, just to give you an idea of the size. I mean, there's my hand. It's not far off being a mobile phone size, you know, a good, you know, iPhone Pro or something, Samsung Galaxy Ultra, which I've got actually coincidentally, but it's not much bigger than your hand, which is nice because you don't want anything too big on a motorcycle. And again, there's the rear of it. I'm assuming you would have it in that orientation because you've got your little section down there. That, if you're wondering, the two screws there, that is for your expanded memory. I think it comes with a 32 gigabyte SD card, which can be expanded up to 64. I'll put that on the screen if that's wrong, but you just undo those screws and you can extend the memory capacity. I'm going to quickly try to find out exactly what's going on regarding the processor and the inbuilt RAM and all that kind of good stuff, and I'll pop it up on the screen ever so quickly for you on the left hand side. Okay guys, so we are out at the Triumph Speed Triple. I wanted to quickly connect this up basically just to the battery to show you exactly how it looks on the bike. And as I said, I think this is one of those kind of bikes where it could really benefit from this kind of system as opposed to a more modern kind of GS or multi-strada, something like that. So there is the TPMS sensor down there that I was telling you about, or at least the display. You would put those little caps on the back and front tires of your, well, the valves effectively on your bike, and then you can keep an eye on tire pressure, which I think is incredibly useful. And there are some of the settings: interconnect, which will connect you to your phone. Then you've got the driving recorder, so you can choose whether you see the forward facing camera, the rear facing camera, or both. You can replay everything that you've recorded, and of course you've got your settings menu just over here. There's your tire pressures there. You can set the pressure that you want, the brightness, screensaver, Bluetooth connection obviously is just over there. I don't know, no, there are some, no, is that it? Yep, that's pretty much it really, I think. Not much to get overly complicated about. I'm going to plug one of the cameras in ever so quickly just to show you the quality of that. So there is the front facing camera. I'm just holding it in my hand for a second here, guys. You would stick it obviously somewhere down the front end there. It actually does say front camera on there somewhere, I think, if that will focus. Anyway, trust me, it does. You'd stick that down there. Because we haven't got the rear camera set up yet, it's only showing us one side, but as you can see, the quality is actually really surprisingly good. I think that's actually a really nice little setup there. I won't bother putting the rear one in. It'll be exactly the same, but obviously facing backwards. You'll set that exactly as you want it, and obviously, as I said, if you've got the rear camera connected, you'll see that on the right hand side, and then you can choose whether you see both or just one or the rear. Your choice effectively, but it will record both at the same time onto the SD card, and then you can play that back at your leisure. And just to ever so quickly show you there, that is the full screen on the front camera there as well. So you can keep an eye on that. If you prefer to see what's going on behind you, then obviously you just stick it behind you like so. And there is the rear view there. If I just point the front facing camera backwards, you can see the kind of orientation you would have there. Again, pretty good picture. Quite impressed with that. Very useful if you don't have mirrors on your bike or you just want to kind of keep an eye on what's going on behind you. So we do like that. That is the full screen for the rear, full screen for the front, or as I said, you could have it split screen if you prefer. There's your screensaver. Not much to shout about, it's just there. There's your time obviously up in the corner, your Bluetooth connectivity, Wi-Fi obviously if you want to download updates. There is your record, your settings. This is obviously a quick home section over here, the kind of interface as it were. If you press back to the home screen, you are back in here. Date and time, not much to say about there. Interconnect, iPhone CarPlay spelt with a P-O-N-E, which is always quite interesting I suppose. So you've got Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as well. And then we're back to the driver recorder and all the settings that are in there. I mean, this is what we've recorded so far, so if we wanted to go back into there, this will show us what's been going on. Obviously nothing's been going on because we haven't really recorded anything per se. I didn't press the record button obviously, but that is where you would find that. You can switch the sound on and off as well if you prefer, and obviously as you go through this you'll find out more and more about the settings. I'm not going to get into that too much today because it is freezing cold and I'm out in the garden. But hopefully that's given you an overview of exactly what is going on here. If we just press the home button, it's obviously got a timer there as well. It'll refer back to the home screen every kind of 10 seconds I would imagine, but we'll go back to the home screen there just manually, and then we'll pop back inside and I will give you my overview and final thoughts on this lovely little dash cam kind of system here from Aoocci, hoping I pronounced that right, and tell you whether I think you should buy one, if there are better options, or if indeed if you actually need one. So let's get back in the warmth and we'll close out the video and I'll give you my final thoughts. So that has been the review of the C9 Max from Aoocci. As I said, I believe they are a Chinese brand. A couple of things kind of give that away. The fact that they spell mobile mobise, the fact that they spell iPhone with a P-O-N-E, which is a bit of a giveaway. But, you know, I'm not going to hold that against them. So the positives, I think these things, as I've said previously, are incredibly useful for someone with a slightly older bike, doesn't necessarily have the technology of a newer bike, or somebody who doesn't want to put their mobile phone on their handlebars for fear of breaking it. I mean, if you've spent £1,000 on your new Apple iPhone, you probably don't want it shaking about on the handlebars to just use the navigation. So this is where these kind of things come in really, really useful. You can basically pair it up and you'll see everything your phone sees on the dash, on your handlebars, as it were. In good definition, it has to be said. And the same can be said for Android, of course. You can use Google Maps, that kind of stuff, but you can keep the phone in your pocket, keeping it nice and safe. On the other side of the spectrum, of course, you've got the other safety aspect. If you ever unfortunate enough to get into a little prank, somebody hits you from behind, or you bump into something at the front, you are covered because you will have a good high definition camera front and back recording everything for you. You can keep an eye on what's going on behind you as well, which I think is a nice little safety feature. You can record your rides, which is a lot of fun, share that with your friends, all that kind of good stuff. Keep an eye on the weather reports, obviously, and the time. Again, if you don't have a modern bike with a clock on it, that's a useful thing to have on here as well, as you can see just up there. The TPMS is another useful function because it'll keep telling you exactly what's going on with your tyre pressures, a real must-have, I think, personally. So in that respect, yes, I think it's a very good item to have. Prices are on the left of the screen just here now. There will no doubt be discount codes. I will let you know about those as and when they come in. They'll probably be in the description right now, and keep an eye on this as well. I mean, if there are no discount codes working right this minute, don't worry, come back in a couple of weeks. I will keep updating this with new discount codes for you as and when they're sent from Aoocci to me. And if you use our exclusive BCAB, whatever the number might be, I think it's 20, it could be 12, you will get an exclusive discount code on top of any other discount codes as well, but only if you use our dedicated code. As I said, I'll pop that in the description as well. Negatives, well, I mean, it doesn't seem to be massively well produced in the respect of quality. I mean, as I said, some of the spellings here and there, I don't know how long that screen's going to stand up because it doesn't seem to have a screen protector. And already there are a couple of tiny little marks just here, and I've tried to buff those out. It could be that it's got a built-in screen protector, and that's fine, but I don't know about you guys, I can't see any evidence of that. I think it could just be a cheap panel, which isn't ideal, but you know, you get what you pay for in that respect. And this is one of the better ones that I have seen. We did actually review another Chinese one, but it was so bad I never actually uploaded the video. It was that awful, because there are some really, really bad ones of these out there, trust me. And the one that I reviewed previously was so bad, I just sent it back to the company and I said, I'm sorry, I'm not prepared to put this on my channel. It's garbage. No, thank you very much. This one, however, I do like. I like the TPMS, I like the split screen, I like the Apple CarPlay and the Android Auto functions. I like all of that kind of good stuff, and the camera quality does seem to be very good. Now, bear in mind, when we showed you just a little bit of snippage of the camera just now, that's with the screen protector on. If I'd have taken that screen protector off the camera lens, that would have been even clearer. So that just goes to show you the quality of the cameras. My only gripe really is probably the screen. Not quite sure if they couldn't have made that just a little bit more premium. That would have been nice. But maybe they've got a more expensive version of this for the guys that really want something special. Anyway, that has been the C9 Max from Aoocci. I hope it's helped you out if you're considering buying one of these. You've got my pros and cons. You've seen it working. You've seen the unboxing, and I really, really hope it helped. If it did, consider giving the video a like, a share, a thumbs up, all that kind of good stuff. And consider subscribing as well, because we do quite a lot of reviews now. Product reviews, all bike and car related, of course. So it's worth keeping an eye out on the channel. If you subscribe and hit the notification bell, then obviously you'll find out every time we upload a video. And I would be so grateful as well. But from Budget Cars and Bikes, that has been the C9 Max from Aoocci. As I said, I really hope it helped. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And we'll catch up in a couple of weeks. Take care, guys. Ride safe. And again, thanks for watching.